3, 2, 1, go.
And we're back. Trey has a tummy ache, so he will not be here today.
Poor tum-tum.
Yeah, his little tum-tum hurts. But today we're going to talk about choosing your sacrifice, because there's a lot of roads that we go down in life, and they all have a why. You can either go the road less traveled or the beaten path. It's up to you. We're going to get into that a little bit here on this episode. But first, we niff. Ready, Mike?
Sir.
Shake, shake. Pank, pank.
Oh. Dude, is this the new one? Son of a...
Oh.
That's brand new, isn't it?
No,
oh, that's not?
That's not, but that one is.
What? Oh. Ow, dude. That's shocked me. I thought I had an old one. Ow.
Oh, I mean, that one's decently new. So is that one.
All right, well...
You better
try that.
Better.
Shake, shake, pink, pink. Oh, fuck, dude, that scared me. Nope.
That got me in the eye.
Nothing in the nostril, straight eyeball.
I'm just going to cry over here. This is going to be a straight hour of podcast, just me crying.
Heart to heart.
Oh.
Ouch, that really hurt. Okay, just a sec.
All right, regain our composure here for a second.
I'm not crying, dude. I just got something with both my eyes.
Yeah. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Ow, dude.
You look like a giant baby.
Oh, dude, that hasn't hit me that hard in a minute.
Yeah, so that obsidian ammonia, those salts are just insane. If you guys aren't hitting the salts before your big lifts, I mean, do you even power lift?
Just try it, man.
Just give it one time. Like, we have, like, even older people that are lifting in here hitting the salts.
Ray.
Yeah. Ray hits the salts. Hans hits the salts, dude. Everybody hits the salts.
Just try it.
So,
but yeah, sacrifice.
Sacrifice is a big one, right? Because I think everything that is worth something in this life requires some sort of sacrifice.
Well, we were talking about before, sacrifice is inevitable either way.
Yep.
If you want to do something worthwhile, 100% there's sacrifice.
Yes.
Things to be done, things you're giving up, work, a lot of work, anything that is like meaningful has work behind it.
Yep.
But, and what we were talking about and why choose your sacrifice is if you decide not to take that path, take the beaten path, the easier path, that is 100% a sacrifice because that has consequences in itself.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're not sacrificing.
There's also, there's always something that is going to be sacrificed by taking the beaten path.
Yeah.
The road most traveled is going to lead to, a lot of things that aren't going to be necessarily pay off in the end, right? It might be the easy route right now. And
that's another way of saying this, another way I've heard it put before. It's like if you choose what is easy, your life will be hard.
Yeah.
If you do what is hard,
life's
then your life
be
will be easy.
Yeah.
So just like elaborating on that and like different ways that's going to carry over to your life is for us, a gym, people that we work fitness, health. If you look at your health, for example, how most people eat.
Yep.
They do the cheap fast food option. They don't meal prep. They don't eat healthy.
They
eat what tastes good.
They're convenience eaters, right?
And they're eating feel-good things, so easy path, right?
Yeah.
But what is the consequence of that? One, obviously, is like your health long-term.
Yep.
You're going to be 40, 50, 60. When you're younger, you can get away eating like that. But you're drinking, you're eating like crap, your liver, your heart, your organs, that's going to show up inevitably. 40, 50, 60. And you'll suffer the consequences, and you're sacrificing your health now.
For what? Some time that takes to prep? That's what you're sacrificing, right?
Yeah, for that little short-term reward.
Yeah.
Tastes good and blah, blah, blah.
The easy route.
The easy route.
And then speaking about age, right? Like, I just turned 29. Like, I keep telling everybody I'm 30, right? So I look around and I see people my peers that are close to my age or even older where they just kind of got the same mentality that they had when they were like 22, 25.
Yeah.
Right? And people aren't too thrilled with you when you're 30 years old and you still are just as clueless of what you want to do with your life as you were when you were, 22.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make a lot of people happy, right? How do you go apply for a job after you spent the last, 10 years of your life in a gap year, messing around, going from little job to little job, not really holding anything down or never really pursuing any of your passions, never going towards a goal, never setting any goals for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know for you, Mike, but for me, between 20 and I say 30, but I'm 29. But these last 9 years, my my mentality, my mindset, it has completely changed.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is especially when a guy I think is that age, and women too, but it's like you're taking up the mantle of adulthood and being a man, right?
Yeah.
So you can be in your 20s, and a lot of people, they dink around, and that's what we were saying. It's like people understand when you're 22, 25, you don't got life figured out. But if you just get stuck in that, hey, I'm just trying to enjoy life, YOLO, live in the moment, and just like have fun, then you're going to wake up one day and be 30 and be like, oh my God, I still don't know what I'm doing with my life. So for you and like it's like, those 20s, like we kind of just started forging our path, figuring out what we want to do. And the place that we're at now versus like, again, someone that's just kind of messing around, not figuring it out, like people aren't happy with that. You're kind of a man child, right?
Yeah.
You haven't developed
your
character.
You're an old infant.
Yeah.
And that is an ugly thing to be, right?
Yeah, for yourself as well. You're going to wake up on your day and like, you haven't ever taken up the mantle of responsibility. You've avoided everything. You've avoided the hard choices, like who am I gonna marry, or what am I gonna do with my life, what is my contribution to the world. But you just decide to consume, right? Enjoy your free time, go skiing, play video games, just enjoying life, right? Which sounds fine, but then it's like you're gonna lack that self-respect for yourself,
and that's the sacrifice you're choosing, right? Because at some point you're gonna get to an age where you're gonna spend 30, 35, you're going to realize, like, this isn't sustainable. I can't do this forever, right? I can't be a man child until I'm 40. I can't live on my own. I can't, if you're in that opportunity right now to just kind of dig in deep and find out who you are, I would really pressure you to do that, especially if you're, below 30.
Yeah. I mean, that's hopefully the time that you figure that out, because I think the longer you go, the older you are, where you finally kind of make that realization that what you're doing is you're sacrificing your kind of purpose or even satisfaction or, your own self-respect because you've been avoiding all that stuff your whole life, the harder it's going to be. It's doable. I mean, people have done it, right?
Yeah.
But you're digging yourself deeper in the hole that's going to be harder and harder to crawl out of.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we distract ourselves. We decide to kind of avoid these tough life choices, the tough growth, right? The stuff that you go through in your 20s is supposed to be kind of challenging and change who you are, right? And push your limits and build your character. And that's so much harder than just indulging yourself, enjoying yourself.
Oh yeah.
So that's the sacrifice, is the work that you're doing on yourself and the work you're putting into the world and
the
skills that you're developing. But the other option is now you're gonna not develop those skills, not develop your character. But that 30-year-old that doesn't have a sustainable job, no
career path,
no settle or stable relationships, you're going to end up alone. Your income's not stable. Your own self worth, what am I doing with my life?
And the man in the mirror is going to look back at you and not be impressed. Because honestly, dude, a lot of how you think about yourself, a lot of of your pride, your ego, and egos could be a bad word, but a lot of that is based on the things that you do for the people around you.
Yeah.
What you put into the community, what you put into, what you give back to people.
Yeah.
Right? If you're living your whole life as complete selfish, right? Mental masturbation of watching Netflix every night, not going to the gym and taking care of your body. You're not taking care of the machine through your fuel, the nutrition. At some point, dude, you're going to look into that mirror. You're going to realize it. And I don't know how to dig yourself out of a hole like that.
No.
It can be done. I'm not saying it's impossible, right? No. But at some point, that sacrifice is going to come back and slap you in the face because you picked the wrong sacrifice. You could have spent the last 10 years building your body, eating right, going towards a goal. Maybe that's less attractive right now when people are younger. And I see it all the time, right? Think about people that we know, right? They're 30 plus, and they're still going out to the bars every weekend, partying and drinking, right? They come in here and they have goals they're trying to reach, but it feels like they never get there. And why? Because they're picking the wrong sacrifice. They're not sacrificing the social life and the fun times on the weekends and all the money lost there. Instead, they're sacrificing their performance in here, their health, their nutrition, For what? I don't know.
Well, when it really frustrates me, and what I think society does everyone a disservice, and it's kind of the trend now, right, is where everyone's just like, you're worth it, you're beautiful no matter what. Like, you're supposed to just build this self-image of, like,
don't even get me started, dude.
Of grandeur, when it's like, and I get that every human, every person is intrinsically valuable, but it's more of, I think, the potential of who they could be. Like, I don't think anybody's worthless. I think, you're making poor choices, and you're sacrificing, or you're not living to your potential. But if your reality is that you're not, it's like, then that's where you're at, and you shouldn't be proud of that. You shouldn't just like try to psychologically words of affirmation to yourself every day that, like, I'm great, I'm beautiful, I'm perfect just the way I am. It's like, no, like, you're valuable, you're a human being, and you have great potential, and you could be those things. But if you're 100 pounds overweight, if you're broke, you're poor, that's reality. Like, quit trying to trick yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing yourself a disservice, and every human being has so much potential. Like, live up to that. Like, that's where I think a lot of anxiety, depression, stress comes from, is like, that at your core. You can try to trick yourself. Dude, you can write a message on the mirror.
So true.
But there's this perspective you're trying to twist and warp of yourself, but then there's the reality, which the world and other people are going to reflect on you.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. And I'm not telling you to hate yourself. I'm saying, like, be frustrated and get pissed off at yourself for your choices, but correct it.
Yeah.
And guess what? You can fix it.
Use the fuel, right?
And you have it within you to be that person that's going to respect themselves, to do something that's worthwhile, to have good relationships. And I think every human being is capable of that.
Oh, for sure, dude. And I would say I agree when I say I don't think that there's people out there that are worthless, right?
No.
But you are what you choose to do every day. Mm-hmm. If you're choosing to do worthless things every day, then what do you become?
Yeah, it's
worthless,
it still shows
right?
Who you are, yeah. It
so
shapes your reality.
You can change it. You as a person, as a physical being, aren't worthless, right? But the choices that you're doing make you seem worthless, and it's not going to satisfy you. I don't care if you think that playing video games or not working, because right now nobody wants to work, dude. No one wants to work a 40-hour week.
No.
Right? No, especially our age, our generation.
Yeah.
Right? Millennials are probably the worst. I don't even know what the next generation is going to do. Gen Z, they're pretty freaking bad too. The TikTok generation, right? Where now the thing is like everybody wants to be a TikTok star, Instagram star.
Oh, dude, yeah, that stuff's terrible.
That is worthless, dude. Yeah. Because what happens when those platforms, because eventually those platforms are going to fade out.
Or like Instagram followers will all of a sudden lose other followers because of the stupid.
Then what happens? What skills have you developed? What, the sacrifices that you made to, put your body out there, put you out on social media and do stupid, crazy videos. Like, dude, I think Jujimufu is hilarious. But I could not imagine being stuck in that loop that every single week he is expected to drop some some stupid video of him dancing around a flamingo suit lifting weights. Dude, you have to do that forever now. Do you realize that?
Yeah, you don't. I mean, maybe for some people they enjoy being the class clown, but just choose what you're going to become, right?
Yeah.
Like, he might have, like, hey, this started making me money. And I don't know. We're just kind of speculating. Like, for us personally, we would enjoy that, like, trying to just do whatever you need to get views on the gram. Maybe for him, it's like, this was way better than I was doing before, whatever.
Maybe that's what he wants.
What we're trying to basically say is, like, don't rely on stuff like social media to find your self-worth either.
Yeah.
It's like, that can be a part of your life. It can, be used in a positive way to grow your business, grow your...
And honestly, right now, it has to be part of your business, because I don't think that a good business can grow without social media presence anymore.
But, like, put your value where it's worth. Like, put time into that, but don't make that the focus of who you are, your value. It's like, what really matters is, like, what people that know you think about you, right? Yeah. What do your parents think of you? What do your friends think of you? Are we doing good on that? What is your, what do your kids think of you, right? That's like the litmus test of who you are as a person. Is like, what do those people think about you? What are the people that you see in day-to-day life kind of, what is their perspective of you? And that would be how you can kind of tell, like, who cares how many people follow you on Instagram, right? Who cares, like, if you have 1 million followers, but your home life sucks. Your wife and kids aren't happy.
Yeah.
Or, like, you could have a lot of followers, but doesn't mean that even reflects financial success. I knew people that had, like, six, figures of, like, 600,000+ followers. They're still, like, having a hard time getting by money-wise.
Isn't that crazy?
But, like, you look on their Instagram, which is just always this highlight reel for everybody. But don't think that you getting those things or even getting rich or whatever is going to what ultimately fulfills you.
No, that's a sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can sacrifice time with your family, time with your friends to make money, but maybe then you're just a lonely rich guy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a balance, right? You're going to have to choose your sacrifices that fit you. And what the sacrifices that fit Michael and I might not fit everybody.
Oh, 100% not.
No, the way that we approach it is in terms of health and wellness, right? We're not going to be the guys that go drink every weekend. We're not going to be the guys that skip workouts just to go lay on the couch. That's just not who we are. That's the sacrifices that we're going to not ever choose, right? We're always going to put our body and our nutrition and our wellness before anything else. Because at the end of the day, that is kind of what drives our business, right? We are like, if you have a personal trainer that's not in shape, or if you have a coach or a PT that's not in shape, it doesn't know how to move himself, like, I mean, how much value is his word worth? Not a lot. I mean, you can take it what you can from it, but if he can't practice himself, it's kind of just seems hypocritical.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think, that's why we kind of try to push ourselves in that way to kind of, practice what we preach, set an example of what we believe in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think end of the day, when and it's going to be different for everybody. Obviously we have a different path. Obviously, like, our friends have different paths, but we're just kind of trying to get in perspective. It's like, if there's this itch, if there's a dissatisfaction in your life, it's like, realize you're probably not putting that sacrifice where you inherently deep down in your core know you should be.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fine, like, be aware of it, because we're all of us are not following our paths perfectly. We're trying to, but at least be trying to pursue it, right?
Yeah.
It's the pursuit, it's the burden that you're kind of trying to put on for yourself. And it's fine to be unhappy with where you are financially. It's fine to be unhappy with who you are, like,
physically,
I don't
mentally.
want you to trick yourself and think it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm great how I am. And it's like, I don't believe in that. I believe that, it's good that you're aware of it. Now do something about it. And I can guarantee you, like, that stress you're feeling, the anxiety, the depression, it's only going to come or relieve when you start moving, taking steps, actionable steps.
Yeah.
Not just talking to yourself.
And they're going to be hard, dude. They're going to be hard. It's going to be a hard way to go.
Right?
Yeah. And the thing is like, I would say that everybody who isn't stuck in that financial stress, physical, mental, they know. If they looked at themselves in the mirror honestly and asked, what things am I doing in my life that are leading up to that? Yeah. What are these bad habits that I have that have made me who I am right now? Like, what can I change? Everybody knows the answer if you're honest with yourself and you're not lying. Yeah. I think there's so many people out there that just can wake up, look in the mirror, and lie to themselves. Yeah. Because I can.
Oh, 100%.
You can.
You can do it for years and
you can do it for so long, man. You can lie to the man in the mirror because the man in the mirror is not going to talk back to you.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? You can talk to him, but he's not talking back. You can look in his eyes, and maybe that's that the look in his eyes is a little bit dead and empty. But if you can ignore that and look past it, I mean, you can lie to yourself for a long time.
Yeah, but I think almost any lie, and that kind of lie will eventually be exposed.
Oh yeah.
And you can put it down, you can suppress it, but there's going to come a time, an aha moment, a moment of realization where you realize, like, you are living a lie, that you've been lying to yourself. Yeah. And it's going to be a bitter pill to swallow, and it's not going to be fun to enjoy that or to experience that, right? Yep. So, be honest with yourself, and what are you lying about yourself to? Like, what do you think you're,
What sacrifices are you not making that you probably should be?
Yeah, and think about all these major areas of your life, and then just put in perspective of, like, hey, I'm avoiding this, or, I'm not worrying about it now, but it's like, what are you sacrificing? Like, think in the big term picture. It says right now, it's like you can justify it, you can look around you and be like, other people are doing that, or it seems fine, or, you can rationalize almost any choice, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can choose the good or the dark, the light or the dark side.
Yep.
But you are really, like, if you are trying to be honest with yourself, like, look at yourself in the mirror, you'll know if you're choosing a path that's going to ultimately lead to a harder life.
Oh, for sure.
And there's going to be, again, two hard paths to take in one way or another. Either it's the easy path, the path of least resistance you take first, or the harder path that's going to lead to a better life in the long run. But every part of our life is going to have those kind of choices.
And how do you start, right? Like, where do you begin the process of looking at yourself and doing this? Because it might seem overwhelming, right? You might have a list of things that you think that you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Start with the small things.
Yeah.
the reason I like the wellness and the fitness side of choosing your sacrifice is because it's easy to see the payoff.
Yeah.
It's easy to see change, and change is always motivating, no matter which way it is. If it's change in a bad direction, it's going to motivate you to do something different. If it's change in a good direction, you want to keep going that way.
Yeah.
So you start with the little things.
Yeah.
How much sleep are you getting at night? Are you staying up gaming? Are you staying up watching TV? How about your weekends? Are you eating good all weekend and then just blowing it by drinking alcohol all weekend long? Are you not following a diet all weekend? Start with the little things. Look at your diet. Look at your sleep. Look at the habits that you do every day. Are you educating yourself? Maybe read. I don't read. I should read more.
Yeah.
I've read a lot in my life. But the thing is like, one sacrifice that I'm making right now is my focus is my business, right? I'm sacrificing maybe the knowledge. And that's gonna not pan out for me well unless I change it, right? So one of the things I've been doing lately is looking into books, listening to audio tapes, something that I'm just always educating myself on what I like, right? In the realm of fitness and programming and strength training, I'm always watching TED Talks and YouTube videos on how I can become a better coach, right? That's a sacrifice that I'm choosing right now. Yeah. It's like maybe I don't need to be so stressed out about my business, right now. I need to focus on becoming a better coach, what I do every day.
I think you'll have seasons in your life, and there's so many things to work on, and we all have so many areas to grow in that, you're going to have times where you are not being able to put the focus on everything all the time, right?
Yeah, no.
That's totally fine.
You can't wear all the hats, man.
But I think, for just as like a strategy, right, just pick something.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people are running into, and where I see, and I felt it personally myself, where I did feel, what I was talking about earlier, where you're more stressed, anxious, or just not satisfied with your life, is you're not really growing in any area.
Yeah.
You're stagnant, and then if you're stagnant, I 100% believe that you're going to eventually be going down.
Yeah.
Nobody really stays stagnant, right?
And that's where you burn out.
22-year-old that never grew up, it's like, oh, I'm not worse than I was 22, but you're not getting better, and guess what? When you're 30 and you're like a 22-year-old, you're not better, you're worse.
Yeah.
Because a 30-year-old should know more than a 22-year-old.
Yeah, it's like, what were you doing with the last 8 years of your life?
Yeah. So, and reflecting on that example, right, it's like, you don't want to have all these areas of your life that you're not growing in, and I think that's where you'll find fulfillment. And this is where, the sacrifice then is the work, but then you're not, on the long run, not going to make progress in your life, and not going to wake up one day and just be stuck or be in a situation that you can't dig out of or something.
Yeah.
So pick an area of your life that you want to grow in, or start tuning up a little bit, and then take the hard work, the steps to build there.
Yeah.
But that's the sacrifice you're making, is that you're not letting yourself get worse there or taking the easy route. You're doing actionable steps to make progress in that.
Look at it as like a brain, like a idea web, right? What is the main thing that you want, to improve in your life? Is it your physical wellness? Okay, what does that involve? Branch it out. Sleeping better, eating better. What steps do you need to take to do those two things?
Yeah.
And then just go from there, right?
And I think a lot of times we brainstorm, we get these ideas, it feels good. You're like, hey, I'm actually, figuring out ways to take actionable steps. But that's what a lot of times where it stops, right?
Yeah.
It's like you need to have some way to check in with yourself. I know some people do task lists. Some people will set like a goal, like a timeline thing.
Yep.
Where it's like, I'm doing a meet in April, or I'm going to cut down to this weight. But, write out your goal, and then write out the steps to get there, and then check those things off. Do a little bit of something every day.
And then treat yourself.
Yeah.
When you get something done and you feel accomplished, treat yourself.
Yeah.
If maybe drinking, you were cut back, you go a couple months without having a lot of drinks.
Yeah. It tastes so much
better
and sweeter, right? When you had that time where you finally pushed yourself, grew. It feels way better having a cheat food or relaxing, right?
Yeah.
Having time off from work, because it's like, hey, I set out a goal and I accomplished it.
Just letting go for one night.
It's 10 times better than what most people do, right? Is they do those comfort things to avoid the stressful things, right? They're trying to avoid the work, the discipline. So they're just like, I'm just going to indulge myself now because it's stressing me out trying to even accomplish this.
And I feel like stress builds like fatigue does, dude.
Oh, yeah.
If you're stressing and over and you just kind of suppress, I think eventually it comes to a head, dude, where you just have a full panic, anxiety attack right there.
Yeah.
It's like you just cannot hold it back anymore. You've ignored it for way too long, dude. Now it's an ugly monster. It's the demon inside, right?
Yeah.
It's it's just going to grow off of that.
Yeah.
So do those, the daily tasks of just something simple, making your bed in the morning, something good good routines, good habits to create is going to be the way to combat that.
Yeah.
Right? Do something like, I really like, what do they call that? What does Andy Frisella call his task log?
I think it just calls it as it's like
power list.
Power list, yeah.
Yeah.
Power list.
I really like the power list. What is it? 5 tasks that you do every single day?
Are actionable steps. It's not like lose weight or, it's like I am going to eat a healthy breakfast. Like you actually make them actionable steps, right?
Yeah.
Count my calories that day.
Drink 64 ounces of water.
Drink this much water.
Yeah.
If that's your goal, right? So he's breaking it into like actionable steps that he's doing every day.
Yeah.
And they're small, right? Like you drinking water one day is not going to like tip the tide, but it's like you do that over weeks and months.
You win.
It's like that's all adding up into reaching that goal. And it's like, when you do something daily, it's amazing how much those little things add up over a longer term.
It's like that old classic scenario of, it's like, would you rather have $1 million right now or a penny a day for 5 years?
Yeah, you're saving a little bit every day. After 3 years
doubles,
and months, it's like that really adds up. And that's where I think the best way, especially if these are big goals or tasks or things you want to work on, it's just small steps, right?
Yeah,
it can be in so many different ways, right? It's it can be, and it's not just health and fitness. It's career stuff too, right?
See, that's something we've learned a lot too. Mm-hmm. Is like just the little things that matter.
Yeah.
Right. Like one thing I preach with the boys here with the crew is like, hey, if the gym is a mess, people might not say anything, but they notice.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't do this part of your job, they might not say anything, but they notice. Mm-hmm. And if people keep noticing that, if you're not running a tight ship, then all of a sudden it's like, what happens to a business, right? All of a sudden it's like, okay, if we're lax in this area, then this area is going to get lax, and this area is going to get lax. And now we've sacrificed so much that now we can't
run over, right?
Yeah.
It's little things like you could think, you have, all of my ducks in a row, but then something creeps in the cracks, like we're just not cleaning here consistently. Yeah. And then we're not on top of our to-do list. We're not doing all the things we should be because you're getting lazy and compromising in one area.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, but all that stuff's
infectious. It's like a snowball, right? Man. It just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and then all can compound, and you're still developing the bad habit.
All of a sudden, you're known as the dirty gym in town, mm-hmm. and it's not a good path to go.
And we've seen it, right? When we kind of slack, it's carrying over to other stuff, even just how your day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think when you have these moments of realization, be grateful that you are. Like, it's good that you feel bad about yourself or angry with yourself.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel good about yourself all the time.
Because I think it's almost like a blessing that you, whatever it is at your core, your ego, your identity, whoever your true self is like finally giving you a signal that it's a good thing to almost, if you feel anxiety, if you feel depression, use it as like a red flag and not something to be like
pity me
or something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right? It's you who you are deep down your core telling you that something's wrong.
Yes.
And I would way rather be that person that is frustrated and then tries to process that frustration, anxiety, depression, and realizes there's something in my life I need to fix, than someone that just ignores it, right?
Yeah.
It's just like blissfully ignorant. And then when I think I see those kind of people as they go along and like I said, the truth will eventually come out. That lie will eventually be exposed. Then you're in a real shitstorm when it's like you ignored it for, you're 40, 50, 60, and then your health is completely compromised, right?
Yeah.
Or your relationships go to crap, or your business do, right? So don't look at these red flags in terms of how you're feeling, your frustration with yourself as a bad thing. It's like that your body and yourself, like you care about yourself enough to fix yourself. Have respect for yourself to embrace that frustration, that anger, that you're not happy what you look like in the mirror, that you're not proud of yourself for what your job is or how you're doing financially, or that your relationships are where they should be. It's like good. It's like that's a great sign to a motivator to like change.
So somewhere deep down something's not right. Right. Yeah. And the thing is that everybody does struggle with a little bit of depression here and there.
Yeah, I think we all have some anxiety.
But I'm a firm believer that there's always an actionable task or something that you can do to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't think that, I do believe that there's people out there with a chemical imbalance.
Yep.
But maybe there's something else in their life that's going wrong too, right? Maybe they're not taking care of themselves. Right. Yeah. So what's the body going to do? It's going to start trying to alter its brain chemistry. Yeah. Maybe they're drinking too much. Alcohol will change your brain chemistry. It's like you got to kind of take these actionable steps. There's always a course correct. There's an autocorrect for everything.
Yeah, and we're not trying to diminish that anxiety, depression are not real things. They're 100% felt.
We've been through them.
Yeah, it's like 100% a real thing. But, you know, a shitty life on top of depression is not going to help.
No.
Stress, like, you know, if you're anxious and then you're not having your ducks in a row in terms of your finances, your relationships, like that will just add on to your anxiety.
Yeah,
It doesn't
chaos,
help,
man.
right?
Yeah.
You don't want it to spiral into where your anxiety is also like just building upon like the other ways that you're falling short. And, you know, it is a real thing, anxiety. We're not talking necessarily about like, you know, if you have like legit mental issues, but even if you do, there's still actions, like Chancellor said, to help.
There's got to be steps to fix it.
And I'm agnostic to whatever we need to try.
Yeah,
but we're suggesting that like the stuff that is in your control, the actionable steps, that's the sacrifice, is like taking those steps, trying to make those things better, and that will, and it's just logistically, like logical, right? It'll help those things if you're starting to work on yourself, to develop yourself. And you might have anxiety, depression, and it's always going to rear its ugly head. We all do. But at least you're trying to manage it and you're making progress toward it.
Don't look at it as a woe is me, pity me, I need medicine.
Yeah.
Think about it as like, first, always think about what can I change to fix this?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be reliant on anything, right? You don't want to be taking a pill just to keep you normal, right? Well, if you can help it.
I think some people will find, and I think it's true, whatever that struggle is, that thing you're battling, that's what's going to define your character. That's what you're grinding your character against.
Yeah.
For some people, it's a business. For some people, it's whatever you're struggling with is what is going to devolve your character.
Yep.
The easy stuff that's like already set, you know, it's like if you are healthy right now, if you are financially set, that's not what's going to grind your character. It's the hard stuff. It's all our weaknesses.
Yep.
It's stuff that we need to work on. It's stuff that we're struggling with. That's what's going to make you better as a person, because you're conquering that stuff. You're figuring out how to grow.
And it's not going to be easy.
And it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's always hard.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that the things that you struggle with are just meant to be easily relieved. Because that's what it would do to your character. It wouldn't change it much.
Yeah, you wouldn't grow anything from it. It's just like lifting weights, right? Yeah. It's like if you just do the things that you're good at, you're just going to be good at those things, but nothing's going to ever change.
And
you're not going to be.
If you're in a really low space, like you guys, the people that struggle the most and conquer that stuff are the most inspiring.
Oh, hell
it's
yeah.
Like the people that are really overweight and figure out how to lose the weight, like those people are just, they're inspiring so many people. Or the people that started, you know, ground zero, right? They're broke and then they end up building a successful business. Or people that had like, you know, hard relationships and they figure out how to have a good family. It's like, you guys are going to have the deepest knowledge, the deepest wisdom, the most experience, the richest experiences to share, whatever that struggle is. So don't feel bad for yourself, like Chance was saying, for any of those struggles. I don't care what is going on. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you're fat. I don't care if you're depressed. I don't care if you're anxious. I don't care if you have like family issues. Like I don't care any of them. It's like we all have that in some shade or different way.
And guess what? You are not unique.
No.
There is someone out there with the same problems.
Yeah.
You know what? And there's probably somebody out there with the same problems that had taken those actionable steps to fix it.
Yeah.
You're not unique. Your problem is not, you're not the first person in the world to ever deal with
not even close,
family, relationship, career, money, financial, weight, nothing, right? There's so many people out there that have that.
Yeah.
Now, you might be unique in the way that you approach it, how you fix it, because you know what? That is the anomaly. This society preaches everything is such a quick fix. Everything should be instant gratification, that you shouldn't have to work so hard to do this, to do that, to get to where you need to be, right? That's the highlight reel, right? That's what society preaches.
Yeah.
It's such the anomaly to take a step back, ask yourself, be honest with yourself, and take your measurable steps, your daily baby steps towards improving yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to do, and no one wants to do the hard thing, right? We even struggle with the hard thing, right? I mean, how much do you like high bar squats? Hate them, right? Still do them, but we have to, right? It's just a sacrifice that you're going to have to start willing to make, right? Like you have to be willing to put aside your comfort, put aside the fact that it's going to take time and effort, and it's going to take discipline and commitment to move forward.
And I think end of the day, what it's going to turn into is like a well-lived life, right?
Yeah.
You're not, and all of us are going to end up with the opportunities, our individual circumstances. We're not all going to end up in the same place. There's not one ideal for everybody.
No.
It's impossible for some people to be in the same place.
Nope.
Just because of who they are and what they're capable of or what they're going through, right?
Yep.
But it's the journey that you're going to live your life through, the things that you're going to conquer and overcome, that is like kind of the tale of your life, the story, right?
Yeah.
And that is what we're saying is like, we want you to fight. Like we want to don't go silent into the night.
No.
Like live a life that was fought and not taking the easy route and trying to conquer and, who cares where that ends up?
Because at the end of the day, just think about your life as it being narrated as a movie.
Yeah.
Right? Does anyone want to read about the guy that
gave
up and just lived a nice, comfortable life?
No.
Hell no. How boring is that?
As a core, what do we all love? Like an underdog story.
Oh, hell yeah. Rocky Balboa, dude. Like, think about that, right?
And you don't have to be a boxer. You could be like, I had, a hard life. I started off in a bad place. My parents run drugs, and then I did this. Like, that is a great story. Like,
that's badass.
And it doesn't mean that, I wasn't a millionaire, that I wasn't successful. It's like, no, you came from that, and you were able to build a happy, successful life.
Yep.
And you went through all of these things to get there. And every person, I don't care who you are, I don't care even how you start, like, all of us are going to have some epic battle to fight with ourselves, with our situations, with whatever we choose to conquer.
And epic is subjective.
Yeah.
Right?
It's totally.
It could be epic to you to stop smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. And you're going to inspire people doing that,
dude,
right?
And guess what? There's going to be somebody out there that has that same problem, where that's their epic demon they got to fight.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be epic to you to lose 50 pounds. Oh, I guarantee there's a million people out there that think that's epic.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Or, vice versa. If you guys are like us, it's like we want to put 50 pounds on a bench.
Yeah.
We do that in 2 years. That's going to be epic.
Yeah.
Right? There's always people that are going to relate to your story if you choose to fight, if you choose to get through and take, measurable, actionable steps towards a goal, right? Instead of just coast. No one wants to read the story about the couch potato or the 24-year-old that lives with his mom still.
Yeah.
No one wants to read that because that's not inspiring.
No.
What do you watch movies for? You watch movies to be inspired. Why do we have Hollywood idols? Because they're inspiring. Why do you listen to rock stars and rock and roll music? Because their life is rad and you want to party with those guys. That's inspiring, right? Like, you just want a dose of that.
Yeah.
Everything in this world revolves around inspiration.
Yeah.
But that inspiration always comes back to the sacrifice that individual made.
Yeah.
Right? Always.
Yeah.
And they took the steps to make it happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, we're 29, he's 31. We don't know everything yet. It's like you guys can take our advice with a grain of salt, because the thing is like, we're not gurus. We don't know how life goes. We don't have the knowledge, the experience that 90% of our clients does. You got a Tessa out there, you got, Ray, you got just so many clients, man, that I can think of, Kurt, that have so much life and so much experience that we could all learn from, right?
But it's like I love that when we talk to those people, we get to hear their story, right? What
they
overcome, the stuff they struggle with. And it's like, I know when I hear how they overcame it, how that reflects upon us, right? Kurt's stories, Ray's stories, Tessa's stories.
Yeah.
You guys, the way that you impact people the most, I think, is what we're talking about.
And it's how you live your life.
How you live your life. And
the sacrifices that you made.
It doesn't look like always like a Hollywood scenario, right? It's
no.
not destroying the monsters. It's not saving the world from a bomb.
No, knight in shining armors.
It's like, your kid was going through this and you helped him through it, or you lost somebody and then you overcame that sadness, right?
Yeah.
It's the death. It's the real struggles, the drugs, the weight issues, the relationship issues, the job issues, and all of us are experiencing that, because that's like real stuff. That's like real world.
The ups and downs of life, man.
And then when we talk to and hear people, and then if you can figure out and offer your insight to overcome that, because you fought through that and you didn't let that consume you or define you.
Yeah.
That's how you are going to impact people and share your story. And I talk to people like, our clients, and I love their stories as much as I love like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
If anything, it's more relatable.
And for sure.
And the respect I feel because I actually know that person in a conversation is so much greater than like some rock movie or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool, rock beat up the aliens.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice for you.
What we're saying is like that's the intrinsic to our human experience, though, and that's why we like that stuff. But you will find your, I think, personal satisfaction, or your passion and your gratitude for life, and live a good life if you are having that mindset.
Yeah.
And it can be big or small, and every little aspect of that, if you have that same mentality, what we're talking about is like choosing your sacrifice, you're gonna have an epic tale to tell.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like what else do you really want in life?
Yeah.
Right? How do you walk into a room with your chest held high and your chin up in the air? Yeah. Unless you have that self-respect, that confidence, that pride.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, those people that I know that aren't choosing to fight, or they're taking the wrong sacrifice, they don't light up the room when they walk into it.
Yeah.
people aren't happy to see them. They're just another person in the room, right? Mm-hmm. You can tell the difference. You can see the demeanor of the room change when somebody walks in with a good character, who has developed a sacrifice, or has chosen the right sacrifice, I should say. Yeah. It's just like when Mike and I walk into a room where people don't lift weights. Or if we go to a bar. You know, if I go to a bar, how many people ask me, what are you doing? What are you training? You should train me. I want to get into the gym. Yeah. Why does that happen? It's because we've chosen the sacrifices to get somewhere, right? And now it shows when we walk into a room, right? I'm not trying to be egotistical or prideful by any means, but that's just the straight truth.
But you're sharing what you've learned and evolved and built up and the skills you've developed. And it's all hard, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's a long time. Chance and I have made so many mistakes, and we've stagnated with our training and that stuff. But we have more and more and deeper knowledge the longer we've done it and the longer we've stuck with it and developed it. But that's where we actually have value to other people.
Yeah.
Because of our knowledge and experience.
Exactly.
And the same thing can happen to you. You know, it's like it doesn't have to be even your career. It could just be your life experiences, how you've handled situations. But, I think another saying I really like is, one of the richest places in the world is the graveyard, because all of us, we leave so much potential.
Yeah, it's true, man.
It's so sad to see, because you can't, in my mind at least, justify that you had a good life if you didn't even try to tap that potential.
Yeah.
If you just stagnated or just cruised on life. And I just don't like the way I see people kind of just in general, right? Society has trying to preach it of this like convenience lifestyle.
Or just be acceptance,
accept where you were at.
Or just of normality, right?
Why?
Be normal. Follow the path.
Or you're perfect
right?
the way you are. It's like, this is great. No, it's like, no, nobody's perfect where they are right now because there's so much potential left.
Yeah.
That's like, why would you, that's like that? It's like stopping a race halfway. Why would you stop? You could have finished this race and enjoyed the moment of finally finishing the race.
Yeah.
Lived a good life, lived a long good life or whatever life you live.
Yeah.
But did it to your fullest potential. It's like you're gonna die satisfied and like proud
I'd rather
of the life you live.
I'd rather be dead than average, right?
Yeah.
It's that saying we had on the wall in the single car garage when we started this.
People reach a point in their life, they hit an obstacle, they hit a challenge, and they just stop, and you just see
it's good enough,
and they fade, right?
Yep.
That's when like you talk to guys. It's like their high school years were their glory years. It's like
screw that, dude.
You had 60 other years to live your life, and you had the best stories and adventures and
just
experiences from that.
Yeah, even physically, your body is like, what, you graduate high school at 18?
Yeah.
17, 18? You don't peak out physically till you're like 35, 37. Like what did you do for the 18 years?
And then if I were to read your book, this was chapter 3 was the best, and then when I get to chapter 10, it's so crap.
Just cruise control.
Yeah, so it's like every decade, that's a different chapter with a different experience.
Yeah.
It's like that's football time, that's the high school time. But like what was happening in your 20s and your 30s, and if you look at your life and you're not looking at like each chapter was exciting and growing and a cool story to tell.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you could be the guy I'm 30 and I look back and like, holy crap, those chapters sucked. Whoa, what an epic tale when I lived 30 to 80.
Or I'm 50.
Yeah.
I'm 50, and the beginning of my book is just meh. It's like, why don't I do something now? It's never too late to start.
No, and that's a good perspective to keep too, because it's like, whatever time you have left, whatever you're gifted in terms of time left on this earth, those last 5-10 years, that last year of your life could be epic.
Yeah.
And you would die happy and you would inspire people. It's like, holy crap, that guy only lived one more year, but he lived every day of that year.
Yeah.
That would be inspiring to me, and that would change people's perspective.
Yeah.
It's like living like you are going to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, take that into perspective, and we're trying to give you guys a broader perspective of looking at your life and making sure that's like a freaking epic story.
Because, dude, death is the greatest motivator, right? And the scary thing is you don't know how long you have, dude. We don't know if tomorrow is tomorrow.
Yeah.
You only know today and the sacrifices you're making to benefit tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
Right? So make the right ones. Yeah. Don't take a day for granted. Don't not sacrifice the right thing, right? Don't sacrifice your health. Don't sacrifice your mental, your family, your career, your relationship, and then expect to work on it tomorrow, because you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a scary thing. It's a depressing thing to talk about death, but it is the greatest motivator, right? I worked in the medical field in the Air Force for so long, and I saw so many people trying to quit smoking. And you know what? They all wouldn't do it, or they quit drinking until the time that the doctor looked him in the eye and said, listen, if you do not stop drinking or smoking, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And guess what? The next day they quit. How? Why? Because they were motivated.
And that's a really good point, and you need a why like that. That's deep.
Yeah.
And I think death is often, it's like, it sounds morbid, but it's a good one to reflect upon, right?
Yeah.
And think about if you were to die because of your health choices.
What is your story like?
What have you done with your life? And Gary Vaynerchuk, an entrepreneur guy, always talks about, it's like what his perspective at least, and it sounds morbid, but I can guarantee you that guy lives every day more fulfilled because of it. He's like, what are people going to say at my funeral?
Yeah, what is your eulogy?
Yeah, I mean, think about that, and it's actually going to make every day richer and better because you're taking that perspective, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you can look back, and who knows, you might die tomorrow, you might die 20 years from now, but what were you doing, and what are people going to think about you in that time that you had left?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the guy that people are like, I don't even know what to say, or it's like we're just kind of being polite and showing up. Like, you want to impact people, you want them to miss you when you're gone.
Yeah.
And I don't, you don't have to think that your legacy's forever, but it's like at least have the legacy on the ones that you lived with in that generation, right?
Or Louis Simmons, right?
Yeah.
Make a change.
Yeah, he changed. Like, yeah, that guy changed 100%, hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions. And I'm not saying he'll live on forever, but he'll live on in like those people for sure that he knew and impacted directly. And then
he'll live on forever.
Yeah,
just even if it's something slight, something that he taught one person who taught another person, and goes on forever. And that's not only in the gym. You guys do that with us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've learned so much from Atessa.
Oh yeah.
I've learned so much from Gina. I've learned so much from Hans and Ray, and I've learned so much from JT. And dude, I can take what I've learned and apply it through my life.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah. No. And that's what you want, is when you're at the end of the day, it's like people will be better off because they met you, right?
Yep.
You were a positive impact on them. You're not on a burden on your family, your friends. And we all have times, I know, when we need help, and I'm not saying that. But, throughout the whole tale of your life, have a good impact and a positive impact, right?
And the only way to do that, again, is sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice. Make the sacrifice and to better yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's going to sacrifice time. It's going to sacrifice fun. It's going to sacrifice comfort. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a lot of sacrifices. But just like Michael said in the beginning, if you live an easy life, or if you do the easy things, your life will be hard, right? If you do the hard things, your life is going to be easy. Right, it's a payoff system. Mm-hmm. Don't take the path that's most traveled. Mm-hmm. Forge your own path. Grab life by the steering wheel and just go off-roading. Yeah. You have a unique life. Probably not unique situations, but you have a unique way of getting to it and coming through it.
Your own version of those same stories.
Yep.
Right? The things that you've conquered and overcome.
And there's somebody out there, I guarantee you, that looks up and idolizes every single one of you.
Yeah. You have an impact no matter
who you are, right?
Yeah.
Even those people that are living at home at 24, somebody out there looks up to you and sees what you do. What kind of impression do you want to leave? What do you want to show the world? It's like, what do you want to show that one person? If I can inspire one person in my life to change and better themselves, I've won. But if that worthwhile life. Yeah, dude. Yeah. If that same person that looks up to me kind of just sees me coasting and then thinks it's okay to coast themselves, that's not a victory.
Yeah,
that's unfulfilling.
Yeah.
But I think, we just rambled on for hours. I hope you guys weren't bored.
Yeah. But we've talked about it a lot, and I think it's just a way to summarize of our perspective kind of on our life.
Yeah.
Again, we're young, we don't know everything, but we've learned from people that have more experience from us, and these are the messages that we've kind of stuck with us.
Yeah.
So we just kind of want to pass on, and we hopefully be part of like your story and help you guys figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
I love hearing about what you guys are struggling with, aside from just the gym stuff too.
Oh no.
And we want to help you, and I think in a broader sense, the stuff that you're doing in here is going to help all that other stuff. I know, like, you're here to work on your wellness, but it's going to carry over. The mental discipline, the stuff that you're developing, like, all these things are like forging your character.
It's a good habit, right? And good habits, they're also a snowball.
Yeah.
make your bed every day, drink enough water every day, get enough sleep, you're working out, all of a sudden that snowball is huge, and it's all positive, going the right direction.
This is one of your pillars, your staples that you can have, and we want to offer you guys as like a place to work on your body.
Yeah.
And have that be something you can, I don't care what you go through, all the shit sandwiches you're eating throughout the week.
You don't need to eat shit sandwiches in here.
No, here you're here to have a good time, enjoy your workout, better yourself,
goof around, mentally, laugh, have yourself, a fun time.
Right.
This is a judgment-free zone. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. It's like, God, we have Star Trek, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings on the walls. Yeah. We're not like cool studs. It's like we're nerds. Like we just want to hang out.
To like 70 and 80-year-olds training here. So
yeah,
it's for everybody, and this is just something that we're trying to pass on and offer is like lifting and your health and your wellness, and using this as something to kind of give you motivation and build your discipline, grind your character against. So that it'll reflect in those other areas that you're trying to work on.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, no matter how well you do in the gym, it doesn't define your life.
No.
Right.
I'm more inspired by some other things besides just your numbers, your PRs.
Yeah, no. It's who you are.
Yeah.
It's who your character is.
There's a lot of other. Your story might have way bigger emphases on other areas of your life than what is lifting for ours, right?
Yeah.
But it should still be one of those pillars that you can kind of have to carry on and to, again, grind the other disciplines against.
Yeah.
So,
and here's another thing is like, if you guys think of anybody that you think we could help with our skills, our experiences, bring them in. The first time you bring somebody in here is free. We will have them jump in on their session with you.
Yeah, we want to have a low barrier of entry, right?
Yeah.
We are totally like, try it out, come with your
If
buddy.
it's not for you, it's not for you. And there's no judgment, right? You just tell them that straight up. It's like, hey, I think working out will really help you.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, people have different ways to kind of dig themselves out of ruts, but I think, if you're anxious, you're depressed, you're not happy, you're just freaking stuck in a rut, it's amazing, and we'll see it in ourselves and other clients, like how much just starting to work on your body kind of manifests into the other stuff.
Oh, man, when I'm stressed out, dude, I'm in here for hours, dude.
Yeah, so if you have a friend that's just struggling just in general, right, they got fired, a bad relationship, it's like this can be a form of therapy. There's other stuff they need to work on, obviously, but this can kind of be the kindle to get stuff going, to start moving. I mean, it's just, without a doubt, like, I've seen people that are stressed and anxious, or even my stress and anxiety, or I'm having a hard time. Like, this is something that's super actionable, and it's just like logistically easy to do in terms of you just got to show up and do the work. That this will at least start chipping away towards that, getting some momentum in the right direction.
It's just an investment in yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody needs that.
Yeah.
And the thing is if you're one of my clients, or Trey's, Mike's, Mason's, and you're starting to feel stressed out and figure that out, talk with your coach.
Yep.
Right? If you don't think you're seeing change, you're not getting stronger or something, have that discussion, right? Because that's going to build that stress snowball, and it's going to start rolling down, right? Yeah. Everything in here is we want to be positive and moving forward and progressing.
Yeah.
So have that discussion. It's not hard. We're very easy to talk to. Mm-mm. Maybe sometimes at 5 a.m. in the mornings, Nate, I'm not easy to talk to, but I'm still here to listen, right?
Well, we just care about all you guys, and more than just, this isn't just like, I'm here to get a service in and out. Like, we are hopefully developing a community, a family.
Yeah.
And we are never opposed to hearing about what's just going on, right?
We want to be the guys that if you need your tire changed and you need something heavy lifted, like, call us.
Yeah.
We're here for every Forge member.
Or just to hang out or something.
Or hang out. You're stressed out, like, I mean, Michael and I are kind of boring. We don't drink on the weekends, but we'll still hang out, play some board games or something.
Yeah. And, you guys are comfortable enough if you want to, like, sharing what you're going through and stuff. Like, we're not going to have all the answers, but we're just there to listen to.
70% of our job is just therapy, right? We're just here to listen. So you guys can talk your ears off to us.
Yeah.
We'll give you our advice, and we'll go from there and take it with a grain of salt, because we're pretty young still. But
that's why we do this stuff, and that's why some of our podcast episodes are more on this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We're not only purely interested in like what you're doing physically. We want to be there to help you guys in other areas of life too.
Yeah, because mental health is a huge part of this too.
Yeah.
Right. I think when we move into our own space and to Shared Ironworks, we're going to have some on-site, psychiatrists or mental health therapists or mental health professionals that, because having a positive mindset, even when it comes to reaching your performance goals is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Your mindset is everything.
Yeah.
Even with PRs, even with aesthetics. If you think that you're going to get shredded, you're probably going to get shredded. But if you think it's impossible, it's never going to happen. Because you will literally take the steps to make that a reality.
Well, I think one thing, and this is what I realized, like, having Chance as a business partner is, like, it's a lot better when you have someone to do it with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Part of what we have here is, like, we want to offer, and that's why I'm trying to dive into, like, other areas of life that you need help with. Like, this is a community that's, like, supposed to be supportive of you.
Yeah.
We're always stoked if you get PRs, you're lifting, you're losing weight, but it's like we want to see all of our members, like, have, succeed in other areas of life. This is something, again, to kind of help you with that, but in a broader sense, like, we're a community of, like-minded individuals. We're trying to do something, be different, not be average, and that's what we want people that come to Forge do.
Because you guys aren't.
Yeah, and so we're trying to, offer something that kind of, hopefully, is something to kind of shape and change your life in other ways, and, that's why we care about all that stuff. This is a community to support you, and, when you're having a hard time or when you're going through life stuff, it's like, we're not, it's the same thing as, like, what, churches and CrossFit gyms and all that stuff offers. Like, you have a community to kind of
culture
on, a culture.
Yeah.
That we are strongly and hoping that's, like, a fundamental part of Forge.
Yeah.
It's not a gym that you just check in and out of, right? It's
no,
not this, like,
this isn't a 24-hour access Snap
nobody
Fitness.
Knows who you are, and that's why we talked about before. We don't want your headphones in, just geared down, not talking to people.
Yeah.
We want all the members to know each other. We want to know your stories. We want to, be part of your guys' lives and stuff like that, so that you have a community that can be, because all this stuff that we've talked about, all these struggles and sacrifices, it's so hard by yourself.
It's like,
and we don't want you to have to go by yourself,
no.
Right? And I think a community can really, really help. If they know what you're going through.
It's like that saying, champions come in pairs of two, right? Because on the days that the one person is feeling like dog shit and doesn't want to do it, the other one's there to pull them out of the rut.
Oh,
and that's what this community is.
And I 100% believe for us, it's like I wouldn't be able to do what we're doing, and Chancellor, I don't think either would without each other.
No, hell no.
Chancellor and I are, like, we can rely on each other to, like, call each other out.
And we're complete opposites, man. Michael's a lot more type A, like a little bit more organized, and, and I'm kind of the visionary. I just kind of, I'm loud, obnoxious, I'm in people's face, I'm a little bit more personable. But Michael's, he's calm, collected, he's got his head on straight. So together we thrive and we know our strengths, right?
But we're better off because of that.
Yeah.
And we want, in the same aspect, like, we can help be somebody that can, help you through these sacrifices, these obstacles that you're trying to conquer, right? Even just to talk to about it.
Yep.
So your community will help, I think, get you through all this hard stuff.
For sure.
Don't do it by yourself.
And surround yourself with people that want to help you. And that's what I feel like every member in Forge is.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that comes in here and is selfish and just wants to do their own thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's maybe why we fall in love with these kind of things, like what we're doing, why our businesses is, because I just feel like the gym, and you'll find there's a lot of just, we're different. If you're coming here and working out like we are, it's like you're different than most people. This is a unique community because it's like they're all hardworking people. They're all striving to better themselves. That actually is harder to find than I think, people realize, because it's hard to sometimes find your own family, your own peer group.
Oh, yeah.
But, almost anybody that walks in here that stays especially is like you will find like-minded people that, are on the same kind of path you are in a different way, but like we all have the same mindset. And,
your family might be great and everything like that, but I'll tell you what, they don't want you to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
Be like, why are you lifting like that?
Yeah,
or why, and other things too.
Why don't you play it safe and be safe, and just relax? We're not here to do that. We're here to be blunt and honest and tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And the thing is we are here to help you grow, fight through these problems. But if we identify the problem, let's say it's drinking, and you're not going to change, why would I help you? Right? Take my advice. I know the reason why your shoulder's inflamed and your joints hurt and you're getting migraines and you can't lose weight. It's because you're drinking too much, or you're eating, your nutrition's wrong. Fix it. Yeah. I'll show you how, but take my advice. Don't let me catch you doing something else outside of that.
We'll hold you accountable, right?
Yeah, and you know what? And if it's over and over again, and you keep coming to me with issues, and you keep telling me like this isn't working, it's not working, and I keep seeing you mess it up. I mean, at what point am I gonna I'm gonna snap? Yeah. All right, it's because I'm going to tell you, like, it's going to be blunt, it's not going to be happy, but someone has to give you that truth.
Yeah.
and I will make that sacrifice that it's me. Maybe there's a little bit of resentment you have for me, but I will make it to make sure that you know if that's the issue.
Oh yeah, and like
right?
You know,
we're not gonna beat around the bush.
Especially the hour here, like I tell my clients, I'm not your buddy right now.
No,
it's like I'm pushing you harder. I'm making you do an extra set that you don't like, or you know, I'm calling you out on stuff that you know you need to. You know, I'm not just gonna, you know, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. It's like, no, if I don't think you're right or if you're doing something wrong, it's like we're gonna call you out on it. We care, but it's like we're not. You know, that's just not the way we are.
It's the same way as like designing a program, right? Yeah. It's like, I know like none of you like Bulgarian split squats, but we have a lot of glute weakness and we're going to do a lot of them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No.
You have to. So
it's doing it to better yourself. And again, this is such a good arena to build that mentality and do those things that are difficult. And you're expected and will do things that are uncomfortable in here.
Yeah.
And it's for your betterment, though.
And take it as a compliment, because we want to hold you guys. We look up to you guys.
Yeah.
We want to see you guys live to your fullest potential.
Yeah.
We don't want to see you guys making the poor choice and making the sacrifice to travel the road most traveled.
No, we're all about being different here.
Yeah.
Forging a different
unique,
path.
right?
Yeah.
It's
average.
Like you don't want to be unique, or you want to be unique, right? You don't want to be normal.
Yeah.
People don't look up to normal people.
No.
People look up to somebody who's unique.
Yeah.
And you guys are all unique in your own ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just play off of it.
Yeah.
Play off your strengths.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, if you're listening to us or if you're training here and you're doing what I see the people in here doing, it's like you guys are all unique.
Yeah,
you
seriously.
guys are not average.
There's something.
Ray is not an average 74-year-old.
Hell no, he's not.
Tessa and Gina are not average.
Average, they're like billing people at the hospital.
Yeah.
Dude, they told me that when they have something heavy to move, they don't even ask the guys in the hospital. They go to Tessa and Gina to move heavy stuff now. How cool is that?
They're badass bitches.
Because they're not average, man. They're unique. People look up to them like, yeah, let those guys do it. Hey, guys, you can sit down. The ladies got it. That's badass. Are you kidding me?
Like Curtin's, 60s hunting in Alaska with his son. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Just 14 days in the wilderness by themselves.
Killing bears with a bow and arrow.
2 knee replacements, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I love that. I love that shit. You guys are just crazy people, and we love it. And you guys are doing something different, and we're inspired by you guys because, we hear your stories, we see what you're doing and what you're overcoming, and then how this is, like, impacting that.
Or Lauren, 25, from 25 on with back pain and, vegetarian, now putting on size, eating a little bit of meat, and no back pain.
Yeah.
And now she's like, 115 pounds soaking wet, pulls 200.
Yeah, beast.
I mean, that's inspiring to me.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
Right? It's like.
No, I love this. I love to see you guys are doing in here, and we're proud of you guys, and that the fact that you guys are in here and doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You guys are building that cool story. I mean, we talk about it a lot. We talk about you guys a lot in our podcast because you guys are telling cool stories, right? You guys are doing cool shit.
Yeah, we live kind of vicariously through you guys. Vicariously.
Yeah.
It's like, because we don't have that cool lives. We just spend it in here all the time.
Yeah,
so.
we're just like kind of like broadcasting your guys' stories.
You guys kind of give us the motivation, and because we kind of want to see what life is like outside of our iron paradise in here.
Yeah, you guys are like our reality TV.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you guys are doing in the real world. So.
But
yeah. Have a cool story to tell. Don't live a life that's average. Don't take the easy road.
Sacrifice the normality.
Yeah.
Just give it up.
Yeah.
Be unique. Start with the small things. Build upon it. Make a power list if you have to. Listen to Andy Frisella's Power List podcast if you want to hear how to do that. If not, ask us. We'll show you how, because Michael and I both have done it for a long time.
It helps a
lot. It does help. Michael still does it. I'm not as good anymore, but I did it for years.
Yeah. And you built the habits because of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just type-based, so I just kind of keep doing it. But, your daily task list, chipping away at your goals. You really, no matter what you go through with life, there's going to be hard things. But if you're always getting a little better, working towards something, it's like you're going to be satisfied with yourself. You're going to be proud of yourself. It'll be hard. You'll have bad days. Some days will be good. Some days will just suck. But you can look on the story of your life and know that you were doing something, working towards something, inspiring people, impacting people, and you're not the same person you were 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Exactly.
You've changed and evolved, and, I don't know what you could really expect out of somebody except for, living the life that they best could.
Yep.
And I don't care where that ends up.
Nope.
I don't care,
There's really no end point, right?
No, and there's no final destination either, right? It's just like we all have a little story in this apart. We're all a part in this long play.
It's like
we all have like cool. This is the character in their story.
It's like that whole thing of
the story goes on and it's never over.
Yeah.
You never are perfect. You never have reached there's no final destination until it's over.
It's like that whole thing. It's like the person who's going to walk the farthest in life is not the person who's in love with the destination, who's the one who's in love with the walk.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and how many times have you guys have a good day where, you filled every minute of that day and it was, everything, you put everything you had into it, and like when you rest your head on that pillow, right? That was a good damn day.
And how easy is it to sleep?
Yeah, and
you sleep like a babe on those nights.
Going into that sleep, right? And that your life is no different than that kind of day, right? Where you just grinded and worked and accomplished something. Versus, we all have these days where you're just lazy ass, right? Don't do anything, eat crappy, and you go to bed kind of depressed.
Yeah,
that can be your life when you finally are, reaching the end. Your life is over. That same feeling, that scares me. To have that on my deathbed, where it's like, I wasted that. That wasn't a good life.
Death is the motivator. Yep.
But if you fucking grinded and did stuff and accomplished stuff, had cool tales and stories and did crazy things with your life, it's going to happen. It sucks. It's inevitable. It's part of life. It's death. But at least it was a good life.
Yep.
And you can have some peace going into the night and when you die.
Boom.
And when you're left. But,
remember your eulogy, right? What are they going to say about you after you're gone? How did you affect the world around you? How did the community respond? Are people going to miss you, right? Or were you just kind of the average guy? Yeah, he showed up, he checked in, checked out, just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
That's the end of you.
That's not what our community does. Our
not in Forge, not in here, not in this house. This is not how we do it here, right? Because you guys are so unique and inspiring, and we love all of you guys. Just keep doing what you're doing, right? You know the things you need to work on. Do it. If you need help finding it and figuring it out, talk to us, right? One thing that we would both appreciate is you guys hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching it on YouTube, because every time we drop an episode, it'll pop up.
Spotify.
And then Spotify as well. Follow that Spotify page. And then, like the reposts of our stories or just the reposts of the audio of the podcast.
Yeah, like we'll post on our stories if you guys repost that. Dude. People used to do that, and it's like crazy how many people started kind of like listening.
We appreciate that so much. Like we do this, it's like obviously something that Michael and I spend time doing, and Trey as well. We do it just because we want to put it out there like we've always said, but bring a friend, tell them about us, because Sheridan doesn't have what we're offering right now. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of knowledge, right? It's not just for meatheads. I mean, we kind of go deep. You guys just heard it. We go deep sometimes. And it's just...
it means a lot to us when we know you guys are... Because you guys are the main outlet of how we've grown, 100%. Yeah. We've done one ad or two ads maybe.
We couldn't do any of this without you guys.
And it's like if you guys, enjoy it, have gotten something out of it, share that with somebody.
Yeah, and it makes
it's the best way to say thank you for us.
And it makes it feel like this is worth our time when we see stuff like that.
And also, too, if you guys don't mind, it's like we have like a Google review page, right?
Yeah.
If you guys ever, have the time or can think about like just maybe writing a review too.
Yeah.
It's just the way that business works. It's like no one's going to find us when we're on page 6. You type in physio or you type in training, and we're on page 6 of the Google page. No one's going to find us.
Yeah, they're going to click the first link. We want to be the first link.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, and if you guys feel like, you got something out of it and you want more people to find out about us just generally, it's like, honestly, like that's huge for our business in terms of just people coming and learning about us, is if we get reviews on that page. It's just the way that Google works.
It doesn't even have to be ridiculous. Like some people have really dived into the Google reviews and wrote us books, and we love them because they're great.
Cool story, right, or something through. That's huge.
Or if they're just like 2 sentences.
Yeah,
if you're
just like, hey, I love working out here.
Yeah,
that's all that adds up, and all that's great. So that would be something that if you guys don't mind doing, would be huge for us.
Ray.
We have like 27 reviews, which is amazing right now. But if our goal is to reach like 100 by next year.
Yep.
And we've worked with way more than 100 people. So it's like if you guys are able to do that, that'll help us. That'll get more people to the door, help grow our community, and impact people the same way that we're hoping we impact you. So
cool. So at the end of the day, build yourself, build good habits, and conquer normality. Right? You want to be better than that. Repeat that every single day. Make every day that sacrifice every day worthwhile, and it's going to pay off in the long run. Yeah. Because you will live a successful, happy, there's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be stress and anxiety.
It's inevitable.
But at the end of the day, if you build, conquer, and repeat, I promise you will live a successful life. punch the mic.